How are you all doing this evening? This is Jamez King L of Vibe 609 Radio. We are currently at Vibe 609 Radio Studios located in Pleasantville on Main Street right off of Old Turnpike. Today we have a special guest, Tim Jones, who dropped in to tell us about the voter participation in Pleasantville. As y'all know, Tim Jones is an advocate for, the progress of the city of Pleasantville. So without further ado, Brother Tim, can you please explain to us about this topic in hand, voter participation in Pleasantville?
Good evening, Brother James. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Our pleasure.
Voter participation is a serious issue in Pleasantville that a lot of people are not aware of. When it comes to voter participation, Pleasantville residents do not show up when it comes time to vote, and as a result, we don't get representation from the state or the county, and we lose lots of money that we could otherwise have for services and things that we would like to have in our town.
Excellent. And like for those that are unaware, what is it that they can possibly do to play a more significant role?
Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure you're registered to vote. Registration is now easier than ever. You can do it right on your phone, anytime, any day. There's an app that you can download right off of the Play Store or the App Store at Apple. It's called NJ Elections. It's a state-run website or application that you can download, and on there you have all kinds of election information. You can register yourself or others to vote if you're not registered. You can also check to find out whether you're registered and where you need to vote if you are registered. Very powerful tool to have, and I suggest that everybody handle that and make sure that you're registered to vote. That's step number one.
Now, for those that don't realize how powerful their vote is, can you please explain in depth of how important each vote is?
Absolutely. In Pleasantville, we have a small town, and the voter turnout makes a big difference as to what happens in this town. As you know, the mail-in ballots is one of the provisions that the law allows for ballots to be cast in our public. However, in this town, there's been a machine that's basically done a very good job of making sure that mail-in ballots have been filled, but the problem is normally it's for specific candidates, and when you look at the results of elections on election day, the people who came out and voted for people at the polls a lot of times don't win. It seems to be like a number like 300 to 500 votes that the Pleasantville will always lose by because the people don't turn out.
Wow.
Another stat that really took me in the last election was on election day, November 8th, there was a total participation of all of the elected voters in Atlantic County of 27%. 25 out of 100 registered voters voted on election day all throughout the average of Atlantic County. However, Pleasantville was only 13%. That's 13 out of every 100 registered voters, according to the numbers they have, came out and voted. As a result, the persons who won at the polls for the school board, 2 seats at the school board, they didn't win because the mail-in ballots superseded the will of the people by those that came out and voted. The problem is not enough people come out and vote. And that's just one of the side effects of the lack of voter participation. The other is how politicians think. Politicians, especially on the higher levels, the county level, the state level, they look at how many people vote in your town. They don't look at who voted, or particularly, or who you voted for. They're just concerned about voter participation. And when they see 13% Pleasantville voting on election day, they basically take the attitude, you don't matter. And when it comes to monies being brought down from the federal government, who, as we all know, can just print money and then give it to whoever they want, and then when you have a town like Pleasantville that doesn't have any representation or doesn't have any communications very much with the county and state levels, we don't get it. We have to bond. We have to go out and get loans for the monies necessary to do the things in our town, where there's free money that could be made available. But when we vote, we get notice, and the politicians say, hey, we better take care of those people in Pleasantville because they will vote, and they could have an impact on my being winning in the next election or not winning. And that's the major significance of voting in your local elections.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Oh, absolutely. I have basically developed a flyer, which I'll show you here, and hopefully you'll see it around town in the next couple of months. It's basically just a call to let you know you matter. You have to vote. As you know, most people think the elections occur in November. And a lot of people only come out to vote when the presidential election occurs every 4 years. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are elections twice every year. And the one election is called the primary that happens in June. Most people don't even think about. However, that's really what determines who is going to be in the seats in your city council, particularly, mainly your city council in Pleasantville, as well as a few other seats. Because when you have a town that we really don't have a lot of Republican representation, there's never any Republicans on the ballot, who wins for the Democrat Party in the primary normally ends up on the ballot to be voted on without any opposition in November. So people got to be aware. Be aware. It's very important to vote in June, the June primary. There's a deadline to be registered, which is in April. And then the actual election occurs in June. And you can go to that app, and it will tell you exactly when these elections occur and let you know whether you are registered, and so you can handle your business and be a part of what makes the difference in Pleasantville. People always say, my vote doesn't matter, voting doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because people don't vote. It's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't do what it takes, you don't get what doing what it takes can give you. And that's the problem we have in Pleasantville. So I have this flyer that I'm going to be putting around, just basically saying that. Also, on this flyer, there's a YouTube channel that I came about by a gentleman named Yellow Pain, a young guy with yellow hair, but he has a video out called My Vote Don't Count. It's a powerful little YouTube video that gives you an insight on to the things that I was talking about in terms of the importance it is to vote and what difference it makes. Also, I speak of the app here. So I encourage everyone to really give consideration to doing your due diligence and handling your responsibility and vote, vote, vote. Vote like your hair's on fire.
And I wanted to ask a question, which you were speaking about the app. What is the name of the app, and how can people obtain the app?
It's a New Jersey Elections. It's an app that you can get on your phone just like you would download any other app. It's free. It comes right from the state. It's not something coming by no third party with advertisements in it or anything like that. It comes right from the state. You type in NJ space election, and by the time you get that far, it'll be the top thing to select on your screen more than likely. And you'll see a blue state logo come up as the icon for that app. You download it, and you'll see a menu of all the things I'm speaking of, including the ability to register yourself or anyone else to vote. For example, Thanksgiving dinner. I asked all of my relatives and friends that were there at Thanksgiving dinner, are you registered to vote? My nephews told me no. In 10 minutes, both of them were registered to vote off of my phone alone. A lot of people are not comfortable with doing things like that on other people's phones. Put it on your phone and handle it. And then you can encourage others to put it on their phones and handle it. That way you get registered. Then you're eligible. Remember, that registration has to be done by April to be eligible to vote in June. And there's a same kind of timeline for the November election. But it's very easy to do, and it gives you that power right in your own hands.
Now, just a question: is the app bilingual, or is it just in English?
That's a good question. I'm not absolutely sure. It very well may be. I just don't recall, but because I just downloaded it and installed it with English. But there may have been an option for Spanish. In fact, there may be 3 language options, as I may vaguely recall. But I'm not 100% certain on that. I think Creole may be another language option in that app.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. So I think we did well on that. So we're about to bring this segment to an end, and we'll be right back with the second segment.